Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.
Welcome into Room 442. I'm Sarah Pararia, joined alongside James Sharman. And James, the Champions League is back. It's semi-final time. Man City and Real playing today, and we'll be back tomorrow breaking down that massive game. But as for today, we are talking the all-Italian affair, which is Wednesday's match, Inter Milan versus AC Milan, which we haven't seen in nearly 20 years, since 2005 in the Champions League.
In the Champions League, yeah, the old derby della Madonnina.
Yeah,
right?
Look at that pronunciation.
Pretty badass, I tell you. No, yeah, it's one of the great rivalries in world football, and yeah, they play in the same stadium, which adds something to it, I suppose. But the whole city has reportedly been just alive now for 2 weeks, getting set for this match.
I'm sure.
And 20 years ago, Milan took it, and then they won the Champions League. And since then, listen, they've both won the Champions League since once each, but not meeting at this point in the championship. And yeah, they meet in the Serie A. They met at Supercoppa earlier this year as well. But there's something special, and it might be the last time they meet at the San Siro in this tournament, right? It's been torn down.
Sad?
So there's so much riding on this.
Yeah.
Great moment, I think, for Italian football, which needs a great moment given recent years. So I can't wait for this one.
And it's interesting because the last time we saw them play each other in the UCL, obviously mentioned the Serie A, but AC Milan has gotten the better of Inter in actually the past two meetings. So they met last in 2005 in the quarterfinals. Milan ended up going to the finals there, and Liverpool obviously beat them then.
Oh, yeah, what happened to that final?
What happened?
There
it is.
Steven Gerrard happened. That's what happened.
Steven Gerrard happened. But 2 years prior, they met in the semifinal, and again, Milan got the better of Inter and actually went to win that final against Juventus. But we're talking about two Milan teams, AC and obviously Inter, that were historic. We were talking about this yesterday, like the lineups, Pirlo, Gigio, Gattuso,
Seedorf, Rui Costa,
and then
Maldini. Maldini,
yeah. And then, of course, Zanetti, Crespo, Cannavaro on the other side, Batistuta.
Isn't Zanetti still playing there? Feels like it, right? He played for so many years.
No, but it's true. But we were talking about two very, I think, different teams than what we're seeing now. I don't think I can say that in 20 years, am I going to be looking back at these Milan teams thinking?
A great point.
Do you not?
Yeah, because they were iconic.
No, they were.
Right? I mean, the AC Milan team in particular was iconic. Gattuso, some of the greatest players and greatest characters we've ever seen in world football. Shevchenko. And fast forward all this time, and back then they were the dominant force in world football. The Serie A was coming off a dominant decade in world football in the 1990s, right?
Yeah.
And then it's all kind of fallen the wrong direction for Italian football. Financial reasons are a big reason for that, I think. But maybe they're bouncing back now. Two teams in the semi-finals, Napoli in the quarterfinals as well, of course, losing to AC Milan. Maybe we'll be looking back on this as being the beginning of something, but
it could be.
Yeah, I don't see too many iconic figures.
Yeah.
At the moment. I mean, listen, Ibra is iconic, but he's hurt.
Ibra's exactly.
Right?
If Ibra was playing, it'd be one thing. I mean, even like the likes of Olivier Giroud, we'll remember his time at Milan, but we also remember his time kind of everywhere else. He's that guy. I wouldn't say it's
journeyman, right?
Yeah.
He's great, but was never the man.
Yeah.
A bit like Edin Dzeko and Inter Milan.
That's very true.
Similar kind of players, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They
They're
just
not
do their job. They go about their business. They're professionals. They're good but not great players, but they end their careers with a whole heckload of trophies.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only player is maybe Rafael Leao if he stays at Milan for like a very long time, but I can't even see that happening.
Yeah, maybe. You mean Lautaro Martinez?
Yeah, I mean, after what
listen,
happened at him at the World Cup, I don't want to remember him.
He still got the World Cup.
Yeah, he did, but I mean, there was he was shocking in that World Cup. He's not really been, he only, the last, about couple weeks as he kind of bounced back. He had a rough start to his season as well with Inter.
Yeah. He might not even start tomorrow.
Yeah,
it could be Lukaku instead.
Exactly.
Up top.
Who's kind of been also coming back into form. So it's really interesting when you look at these two, teams, different generations, but one was so much more. I'm even doing the Italian one.
I know. Exactly. Although, I mean, listen, the Inter Milan team of 2011.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho's Inter
Wesley
Milan team
Schneider.
won the treble. Right, the treble. I mean,
they beat Barcelona. I remember that very well, actually.
I'm sure Inter Milan fans right now are screaming, saying they're iconic.
Yeah,
that team was iconic.
They are. That's fair. I'm not comparing that team, though. I'm comparing the current team and like the 2003 to 2005 era. But yeah, I mean, do you think that, look at the absolutely beautiful scenes.
Cafu. What? Oh, yeah. Rivaldo. I forgot Rivaldo was
Yeah, no. It's just not fair. It's not fair at all.
Yep, stand there as well. It's amazing, right? Because I was really big, I was quite early in my career, but I was covering a lot of the Serie A and the Champions League in that time. And that team has, I wouldn't say goosebumps quite, but it gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling inside, right?
It's like nostalgic football. You look at it, and even though you're not fans of the team, it makes you feel like good watching.
It brings you back to a simpler time.
It does. Honestly, even myself, I'm feeling like I look back at football from like 2013, for like 2007, 2013, and even like then, not that long ago, but it still made me feel so much happier than watching football now.
Because you're getting old, Sarah, and you're working in the business. When you're a fan, and you're younger, and these are superheroes to you, like literally comic book superheroes. It just means something different. When I look back in the 80s, right, and those guys, I don't know, a long time ago, but those guys, they give me goosebumps.
But do you also not think it's just because football's changed so much? Like, it's so much more about money now. We were talking about VAR yesterday, and just the sport has changed so much. I feel like it's not the beautiful game anymore. Look at where the World Cup's being held. How many teams are going to be in the World Cup now?
Sold its soul.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Whereas back in those days, the soul, I mean, listen, there were still controversies. It still wasn't great.
But you kind of liked a little Italian mafia getting involved.
It added romance to the story, didn't it? It really did. Look at Napoli, that era of Napoli, for example, and the links with the mob, with Maradona.
Oh, they were in it, It
was still kind of this thing.
Lots of extracurricular activities.
You wouldn't see them nowadays you can watch any game, any day. You can watch any game, right?
Yeah.
Which is great for us. But back then you didn't. So you saw these and you heard about these superstars, but until you saw them at World Cups or a European Championship final, you didn't really actually see them and understand who they were.
Yeah.
And it's changed. Now it's like, I know who's playing at Zenit St. Petersburg. Some superstar coming through, right?
Let me just watch the highlights.
Watch the highlights.
Perfect.
Yeah, right? You can't avoid it. So
it's different. It's the modern age.
Man, you are sounding so old right now.
I am very old, guys. I'm getting old. All right, well, listen. AC Milan over the weekend beat Lazio, obviously big match for them. Inter beat Roma, so both are coming off massive wins in the Serie A. We obviously know with Juve getting their points back, everything has shifted. They're both fighting for their place in UCL contention. Last time around, AC Milan got the better of Inter in 2003, actually 2005, right? Are we thinking that Milan are going to channel their historic ways, and do we think they're going to get the better of them? Because right now, actually, Inter Milan, slight favorites, plus 160. Milan, plus 200, which I was a bit shocked seeing that because I think, in my opinion, I think Milan should be the favorites.
Yeah, I'd say so, but Leal's a doubt for this one, right?
Yeah.
That's huge. They rely on him so much on their counter-attacking style. I know Salamanca is great, on that side as well. But they all really miss Leal. We saw that assist for Giroud against Napoli, right? When he just went the entire length of the field. I don't think anyone outside Vinicius Jr. has more take-ons in the remaining teams in the Champions League so far this season, right? He is just dynamic. So if he's out, that's a big loss. But they beat Napoli through great defense.
Yeah.
Right? They kill teams off. They switch different formation, 3-5-2. They can go to a 4-2-3-1 as well, quite happily. And they suffocate teams, right? Napoli, the highest scoring team in the Champions League and the Serie A, had to wait until the 95th minute of the second leg to score a goal with Osimhen.
Yeah.
So on that, because of the defense, I'm going to go with AC Milan. They should be slight favourites, even though they're not. I get the Inter Milan thing. Listen, they're playing much better football right now.
Yeah.
I'm beating in 9 of 10, but if I'm a betting man, which I am, I would put a little bit on AC Milan.
Could this be potentially a bit of a snoozer the first round? Like, could we see like a 0-0, even a 1-1, like a very defensive-minded game? Yeah. Maybe we see, or even a 1-0, like just a slight, advantage for one side. Because we're talking Italian football.
Yeah, I know, exactly, right? And Inter, play at 5 at the back without the ball. They're happy to defend as well. I can see this being not a snooze fest. It'd be tense.
It'll be fair.
Right, but I can see a draw in the first leg,
scoring.
Absolutely in this one, and don't forget no away goals in this one as well, which makes the second leg
still adjusting, always adjusting to that one.
I often it's not that phase. I'm watching second legs and realizing halfway through the second half, oh yeah, of course, there's no away goals.
It doesn't matter,
and
so
it's changing everything.
No, exactly. But it should be a very exciting game in the sense that it is the Milan derby. That is Wednesday, Champions League semi-final, and of course Real Madrid and Manchester City going at it today. God, I love me some Champions League.
Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.